So we have to remember that our place value is always determined by our decimal. The decimal is what's going to tell us where the ones place is, and then we can use that to figure out the rest of them. So we're going to solve some problems today that's going to help us recognize where the different places are in our place value chart, and then hopefully that'll help with not only today's assignment, but that assignment that most of you need to redo from Friday. Any questions before we get going? All right, let's do this. So I'm gonna back up. Can you read this from here, or do you need me to zoom it in? Kind of a little bit. All right, I'll bring it up here. Let's see if
it's blurry.
Just give it a second. It'll focus. All right, so I'm gonna read it to you for this one, and you should be able to see enough that you can follow along, and then I'm gonna show all my work over here, and it's easier to see my work. So the first one, oh, let me use my other pen. So the first one says, and they give us different clues to figure out this number. It says, I have a 7 in the 10th place. So while I'm showing my work, I'm gonna underline the 10th and make sure I extra underline the THS so that I can remember the 10th place. Because some of us got that confused. We were getting the 10s and the 10ths confused. And then I have another 7 in a place that's 1/10 of the value, so I'm gonna have to do some solving there. And then it tells me a couple of other numbers that I have in other places. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start by creating my place value chart. And I'm gonna tell you the first thing that we always wanna start with on our place value chart is anybody have an idea? What would be the first thing you would wanna start with that tells us where all of our place values go? You can put it in the chat or you can raise your hand. Nellie, what do you think is the first thing we need to write?
The first thing we need to write is the place value chart.
Yeah, that's what we're starting on. So when I start my place value chart, what should I write though? Go ahead, yeah, Nellie.
Your ones, tens, hundreds, 10 10.
Oh, you're getting ahead. You're getting ahead. I know that you know your place value, so thank you for sharing that, Nellie. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you we need to start with our decimal first. That's the key, is we have to start with our decimal right here, and then we'll know where our ones place is in the next place, and the next place, and the next place. So always start with your decimal. That's going to save you so that you don't get mixed up. So we have our decimal, and then Lee put this in the chat, and then Nellie was saying this too. We can go ahead and go to our ones place because we know ones comes next. And then I'm just going to keep drawing my lines. So get ready to take yourself off of mute real quick, guys. Let my friend in. All right, after ones, what comes next? Colin.
Wait, are we going backwards or forwards?
No, after ones, what comes next? Just like normal.
Tens. Tens.
Tens. Just regular tens. And then what comes next, Samira?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. And then what comes next, Laylan?
That was thousands.
Thousands. Great job. And then let's do one more place after that, Haley. What comes after thousand? Say that one more time.
10,000.
Yes, good job. 10,000. And sorry for my messy handwriting, but y'all know it. All right, now we're gonna go back to this decimal and we're gonna do our decimal place values that are the smaller ones that all end with a at the end. All right, can I have Mackenzie? What is gonna be our first one after the decimal?
I'm sorry, I really don't know.
So we have tens here. We would have what here?
Wait, can you please repeat that?
Yep, we have the tens place right here. So what would we have right here?
The ones?
We have ones. And then what's the small one? You got it. It's okay.
I really don't remember.
That's okay. Thank you for trying. All right, Genesis, do you happen to remember the place that comes after the decimal over here? Genesis, you're on mute, sweetheart. I can't hear you.
Wait, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear you call me.
What is the place value that should go right here after the decimal?
0.
Not 0. We got to do our place value. Go ahead, Fumi.
The tenths.
Yes, thank you for making sure you say THS at the end. I'm going to underline that so I know. Guys, I told you beforehand they all end in. You really got to be following along and making sure you're listening. Next place after the tenths would be what, Lee?
Once.
No, we don't have any once, but I could see where you would think that. So we have the tenths, and then after the tenths would be what, Jamari?
100.
Yes, the hundredths. Good job. Hundredths. And notice I'm going to underline my THS again just to help remind me. And then the last place that we're going to do after the hundredths would be what, Josiah?
The thousandths.
Excellent job. Okay, so I know that took us a little while, but now pretty much all of our hard work is over. So now we just have to read our clues and plug in the numbers, and then we're done. So we did all the hard work up front. So now it says clue number 1 is I have a 7 in the 10th place. And notice that I underline right here the THS in the tenths. So guys, I literally just come over here to my place value chart and put a 7 in the 10th place. And I'm going to bring that decimal down so I make sure I see it. And then my next clue, this is one I have to think about a little bit, but we can totally get it. It says I have another 7. So I already have 1. It says I have another 7, but this 7 is in a place, one of the place values, that is 1/10 of the value of this 7. So remember in 5th grade, we now say 1/10 of the value. But that is also saying the same thing as dividing by 10. Remember how we already talked about dividing by 10 and 1/10 are asking our equivalent? We can go back and forth with those. So with your heads, I want you to nod yes or no. So if I need to figure out the place value of my second 7, am I going to be bunny hopping up to find this place value? Yes or no? Am I going to be bunny hopping up to find 1/10 of the value? Okay, I'm seeing yeses and nos. So Leyland, I saw you shake your head no. Why are you saying no? I don't think we're gonna bunny hop up.
The reason why I said no because you're not going to bunny hop up is because you said tenths.
Yes. Very good noticing, Leyland. That was great. So that's another way that you can think of it as well, is that if I say tenth, 1/10, we're not going to be going up. We're going back in place value because we are finding a fraction of the value. It's going to get smaller. Remember, my bunny hops are multiplying by 10. It's 10 times greater. So if I go from the ones place to the tens place, that's 10 times greater. It's 10 times more. Now, if I want 1/10, I'm going to be dividing. I'm going backwards. So I need to back it up. So I'm in the 10th place right now. So in order to find 1/10 of the value, or divide by 10, I can write it either way, I need to go back to one place value, which is the hundredths. So my second 7 is going to go in the hundredths place. Now that's the hardest clue that I have. The rest of the clues are going to just be telling me where to put numbers. And I can tell that I've already lost some of you and that you're not paying attention because of the way that you're looking right now. So please, remember our Zoom expectations and make sure that you're meeting them. So our next clue is have a 3 in the ones place. Easy peasy. 3 in the ones place. And then my next one is have an 8 in the thousands place. Not THS, just regular thousands. 8 in the thousands place. So those are all my clues. They are done. Now, I need to actually write out this number. I can't just leave it in my place value chart because that's really hard to read as an answer. So before I do that, though, I have some of my place values that don't have anything in them. There are some gaps. Does anybody have an idea of what I should do with these gaps? What could I put in my place value chart that would help be a placeholder, but it doesn't change my number? It doesn't change the value. I saw what Samara put in the chat. Great job. Thanks, Genesis. Yes. Yes, Fumi, good job. Thanks for those of you responding in the chat. Yes, Josiah, good job. Awesome, Cullen. Very good. All right, Genesis, will you take yourself off of mute and tell us what we should put in these right here that don't have any numbers? Oh, I don't think she heard me. All right, Josiah, will you take yourself off of mute and tell us what we need to put?
You need to put a 0.
Yes, zeros. I'm gonna put a 0 here and I'm gonna put a 0 here. The value doesn't change, but this makes sure that I keep all of my numbers in the correct place value when I go to write it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, I do not need to put a 0 in front of my 10,000s place. That doesn't do anything. We don't normally put zeros in front of numbers. Now, notice that there's nothing in my thousandths place. I do not need to put zeros on the end of the number to fill in all those place values because place values keep going on forever and ever and ever. So I would be putting in zeros forever and ever and ever and ever. We only need to put in zeros when they're in between some of my digits and they don't have anything, like these two. They were in between two digits I already had, so I needed to hold the places. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and write this number out and I'm gonna make sure I include my commas and my decimals. So I know after the thousands place is a comma right there. So I'm gonna make sure I write it in my answer. And I'm gonna copy down exactly what I have. And this is my final answer. Can I have a volunteer attempt to read this number like a 5th grader? right, go ahead, Nellie.
8,003 and 77.
Oh, you're so close. So 8,003 and then we say this as 77 and then say the place value.
Ones.
Our ones place is right here.
No,
77.
77 tenths. Hundredths.
There we go. Say it all together now.
8,003 and 77 hundredths.
Wonderful. Pat on the back. Good job. That was awesome. So that was our first problem. It took us a little bit longer just because we were talking it all out, but not too bad, is it, guys? Not too bad. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I need to turn my computer around so I can go to the next slide, and we are going to solve another one. Thank you to those of you. Y'all are doing a lot better about having your cameras on and being ready to talk, which is making this go way better. All right, and we are ready for our next problem. So let's go ahead and start with our place value chart. What did we learn is the first thing we do when writing our place value chart? Lee, go ahead. What's the first thing I need to write? Oh, you're on mute, sweetheart.
Place value chart.
Yes, I'm going to write my place value chart. What's the first thing I write in my place value chart?
Tenths.
Oh, you're on the second step. I'm going to come back to you for that second step because we can do that. Jaquel, what's that first thing we write?
Ones.
Oh, yeah, we could do the ones too. Absolutely. What's that thing in our place value chart that tells me where my ones place goes? Y'all are so close. Oh, I'm getting lots of hands. Go ahead, Mackenzie. What do you think?
Can you please repeat the question?
All right. So I'm doing my place value chart, and I've had people tell me I need to start with my ones, or I can start with my tenths, which I can start with either of those. But what shows me where those place values start?
The decimal. I'm sorry, I don't completely understand yet.
No,
I
that's
just feel
good.
like
The
I still
decimal.
need practice.
No, that's it. The decimal is what tells me where those place values go. So that's exactly what I need to start with is my decimal. You got it, Mackenzie. Great job. And so I'm just going to draw my line. And Lee wanted me to start with my tenths place, which I can totally do that. Whatever works best for your brain. If you want to start with the ones and then keep going up and then go back and do your decimals, you can. Or if you want to go ahead and say, I know this is the tenths place, you can do that too. Whatever works best, as long as you start with that decimal. All right, so since Lee wanted us to go this way, we're doing tenths. Now what comes next after tenths? Samira, what comes next? Yes, hundredths. And notice we have the THS on the end right now. Hundredths. That's a D. And then our last place over here behind the decimal that we are working with, not the last place, but the one that we're working with, is the what, Haley?
Can you read that? I can't really see it because my screen's a little blurry.
What is the place that comes after the hundredths?
Thousandths?
Yeah, there we go, thousandths. And again, THS on the end. Now we're gonna go up here. Jaquel told us we needed to go to the ones place. So we need to go up here to ones. And then what comes after our ones going this way? Let me hear from Laylan after the ones.
Tens.
Great. Colin after the tens.
100s.
Great.
I got stuck.
That's okay. Hundreds. Then after the hundreds, Samira.
Thousands.
Great. And then let's do one more after the thousands, Josiah B.
1,000.
Oh, we're right here with the one. What's after the 1,000s?
10,000.
Great. 10,000s. All right, guys. Now our hard part is over and we just start filling in our chart using the clues. So that first clue we have over there, it says I have an 8 in the thousands place. So no THS, just regular thousands, 8 in the thousands. Now it says I have another 8, but this 8 is 10 times larger than the 8 in the thousands place. So in the chat, I want everyone to tell me what place value does the second 8 need to go? If it is 10 times larger than this 8 I just put in the thousands place. In the chat, let's go.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yes. Guys, we've got to make sure we're following along. 8. This 8 is in the thousands place. There's another 8, and it is 10 times greater. Where does that go? Which place value is my second 8 in? Good job, Genesis, Samira. Thank you, Laylan and Mackenzie, for responding. Thank you, Cullen. Thank you, Fumi. Yep, you got it, Genesis. Good job. Make sure you're putting that place value, guys. What place value would the second 8 go in? I see you, Lee. I'm waiting to hear from everybody that's in here. I should be getting a response in the chat from everybody. Still waiting for 1 or 2 more people to respond. All right. My friends that did not respond, guys, we got to make sure we're just trying. I don't need it to be right. I just need you to try to show me that you're working on it or thinking about it. So can I have Samira? If I have a second 8 in this number and it's 10 times greater than the 8 in the thousands place, where do I need to put that 8 at?
The 10,000.
In the 10,000s place. Because remember, 10 times greater is my bunny hop up to the next place value. So if I do my bunny hop up times 10, 10 times greater, I end up in my 10,000s place. So this is where my second 8 will go. You can also think of it as this 8 is in the thousands place, so it's worth 8,000. And if it's 10 times greater, we multiply it by 10. Whenever we multiply by 10, we put a 0 on the end. So I end up with 80,000 in the 10,000s place. Those are two different ways you can think about it. Great job. All right, and then the next clue is I have a 5 in the 10th place. So that THS there, put a 5 in my 10th place, a 3 in my 10s place, regular 10s, 3, and then last I have a 9 in the 1s place. All right, can I write this number out now? Shake your heads, yes or no. Can I write this number? I'm seeing a lot of people shake their head no. Why can I not write this number out yet? What do I need to do before I write it out, Colin?
You have to put the zeros and the numbers that have nothing in them.
Right, I need to fill it in with a 0. Okay, do I need to add a 0 back here in the 100th place? Shake your head yes or no. No, I do not. I just needed that 1 0 right there. Great job, guys. So now I can write it out. And remember, I have a comma right here at my thousands place that tells me to say thousands. Y'all should remember that from 4th grade. So I'm going to write my number. Put my decimal right there just so I can see it. So this is my number right here. This should be my final answer. I'm going to request for someone to try to read this number out for us using 5th grade language. How would we read this like a 5th grader? Do I have any volunteers to read this like a 5th grader? Go ahead, Miss Leyland.
88,000 39 and 500.
Not hundredths, it's in the other place.
The tenths.
Yes, all right, say it all together.
88,000 39 and 5 tenths.
Woo! Pat on the back. That was great. Good job reading that number. That was tough. Awesome. Okay, we have one more problem that we're going to practice together on. Make sure you're getting a mental picture of that place value chart because you're about to do a Nearpod that has the exact same kind of problems. So I expect for your work to look like my work. So make sure you're taking the mental picture of what our place value chart looks like and where all of those places are at. Let me turn my computer around to go to the next slide again. Y'all are doing great. I really appreciate your participation. That's why I always record y'all. Here we go. And let me erase. All right, last one. Let's see how fast we can build this place value chart together. Let's go. Let's get on a roll. What's the first thing that I need to put in my place value chart? Lee, what do I do first? Lee, what's that first thing I put in my place value chart?
The ones?
Before the ones place, what tells us where the ones place goes? What's that other thing I need to do?
As I say, is it and?
It does say and. Yes, you're right. It starts with a D. Whenever we read the number, it says and. Do you remember what that's called?
Decimal?
Yes, that's it. Decimal. Oh, I can't write. Decimal right here, maybe. If it lets me, here we go. Decimal, great job, Lee. And then what am I going to do next, Mackenzie? Which place?
The ones.
Great, let's do the ones place then. And after that, Genesis,
Tens.
Yes, ma'am, the tens, just the regular tens. After that, Samira,
After that equals 100.
the hundreds. What about after that, Jaquel?
What'd you say again?
What comes after the hundreds?
Thousands.
Thousands. Great job. After the thousands, Haley.
Thousands or thousandths? Which
You
did
should
you
be
say?
following along. I have it on the board. I've been saying it. What have we been doing?
Mine is blurry.
I just got through hundreds. Jaquel told, or Samira, no, yeah. I think Jaquel told us thousands. What comes next?
10,000.
Yes, thank you. 10,000. All right, now we're gonna come back over here to behind the decimal. Fumi, what comes next?
The tenth.
Great, and thank you so much for making sure you highlight the at the end. Good job. All right, after the 10th, Snelly, what comes next? Oh, I can't hear you. Something's not going right. Yeah, your speaker is not working, but I can tell you're mouthing it correctly. And I can hear you from the other room over there going,
The hundredths.
there you go, the hundredths. Great job. Hundredths. And last, I would say not least, but is the least place value. What comes after the hundredths? Leyland.
What come after the hundreds is the thousands.
Great job. Okay, now we're gonna rock and roll through this and we're just gonna plug and chug. We have our clues and we've already done the hard part here. Clue number 1, a 9 in the hundredths place. I'm gonna underline that THS so I know where I need to put it. Here it is. Make sure my decimal's nice and visible. The second clue, I have a 4 in the ones place. Easy peasy. The next clue, I have to think a little bit. It says, I have another 4 that is 1/10 of the value of the 4 in the ones place. So if it's 1/10 the value of this 4, what place value does my second 4 need to go into? In the chat, guys. I have another 4 I need to put in my place value chart. It is 1/10 the value of this 4. Where does it go? Good job. Thanks for the long ending, Nelly. That's very good. Look, the 4 I have right now is in the ones place. I need a 4 that is 1/10 the value. Good job, Leyland. Good job, guys. Y'all are doing great. Love it, Samira. Thanks, Fumi. Guys, make sure you're responding in the chat. Everybody. Everybody. All right, Josiah, go ahead and tell us, what place do I need to put my second 4 in?
The tenths.
Great job. The tenths. My second 4 goes right here because it is 1/10 the value, or you can think of it as dividing by 10. I have to back it up for that place. Great job. And then my last clues are just filling them in. I have a 7 in the hundreds place, and then I have a 1 in the thousands place. Make sure my comma is after my thousands right there. And then before I write my number, Jaquel, what do I need to put in my tens place so that my place values stay the same? What do I need to fill in this empty spot with?
Can you repeat that again?
Mackenzie, what do I need to fill in this place value with?
You need to put a 0 in that space.
Yes, thank you. I need to put a 0 right there so that it holds its place and our number doesn't change. So I'm going to go ahead and write it out, making sure I have my commas and my decimals. And last, let's have a friend read this number to us like a 5th grader, and I'm going to let you go. Oh, I got lots of volunteers. Go ahead, Cullen.
1,704 and 49 hundredths.
Woo!
I'm
High
still in the
five
video.
through Zoom. Great job. Good stuff. Y'all are killing it. Okay, so remember 2 things. You have your Nearpod that looks like this that you can work on. If you end up with some extra time, you can redo that assignment if I send it back to you from Friday. You should be able to do it now with that place value knowledge in your brain. But if you don't get to it today, that's okay. You might have some extra time on Tuesday or Wednesday. But we do need to get that done this week. All right, if you do not have questions for me, you are free to go. Ta-ta. See you later. Have a great day. If you do have questions, stay on with me.
Bye, Miss Chapon.
Bye.